Here we have Samuel Majani, the founder and CEO of Ghafla, a lifestyle magazine, online magazine in Kenya and a few other countries. He will speak on this. So, Majani, care to introduce to us Ghafla for the two people who probably would not know.
So yeah, Ghafla, it's basically an entertainment news website with now, like you said, news from Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, South Africa, Ghana, and Nigeria.
So tell us, give us a journey. How did it start? Did you think we were going to go to all these countries, or?
Actually, yeah. When I actually started, the website started as KenyanLyrics.com. So I was doing lyrics for the first 2 years. Then I decided, I noticed that just the name itself, KenyanLyrics.com, was a bit restrictive because it was restricted to Kenya and it was restricted to lyrics. You see, so I had seen how the potential was going to be a bit limited by that. So to get out of that limitation, I decided to change KenyanLyrics.com to Ghafla, you know, so that we can do more in entertainment, not just lyrics, and also to do whichever country we want, not just Kenya.
Did you think of that, or you were inspired by something?
Actually, it was just from the experience. When we were doing KenyanLyrics.com, just Kenyan lyrics for 2 years, as you keep on doing it, you see the restrictions through your statistics on the back end, you know. And then you're like, okay, I have to do something to get out of this hole that I've dug myself into, you know. So yeah, I decided to rebrand to Ghafla. And that was actually what I pitched to my investors. When I was telling them I have this company, I have this idea, I was telling them I have this idea called Kenyan Lyrics, but I want to rebrand it to Ghafla so that we do like more than just lyrics, we can do news also, and so that we can also scale up to more than just Kenya, you know. Yeah. So the idea of scaling was there from the moment I rebranded to Ghafla. It was just, of course, that fear, you know, that you have of going to other countries. You know, people always say, okay, I want to be in many countries, I want to be big, you know, but there's just those fears that restrict you, and also maybe mental models that restrict you, you know, because we had to change our structure, we had to change our thinking in order to be able to scale successfully.
I probably want to hear the transition. How did you prepare for Ghafla Kenya to Ghafla Regional? What do you call it, by the way?
Now it's just Ghafla. Maybe it should be called Ghafla Africa now, because the intention now is, you know, we've gone to the 6th largest markets in sub-Saharan Africa, but hopefully we are looking at first all of English-speaking Africa, then French-speaking and Arabic. So the thing is, the transition from Ghafla Kenya to Ghafla Africa was basically we did Ghafla Kenya, then we tried to do an exit, as you might have heard. We tried to sell the company to Ringier, but that didn't work, you see. But what worked was that the failure of the exit gave me like a second wind to try and do something with this thing. Because when I was in Ringier, I noticed some of the potential that maybe I wasn't seeing in the company. You know, when someone approaches you and acquires the company, they make you realize, yeah, you have something going on here, you know. Yeah. So it made me contemplate, okay, how can we take it further? Then after we separated, when the exit didn't work out, then I decided, let's take this thing from Ghafla Kenya to other countries, you know.
Yeah, you mentioned about what you are doing, and probably what are the learnings in terms of, I noticed there was a change in editorial style.
Yeah.
Want to speak about that?
So you're talking about the exit, yeah? When we sold the company to Ringier, yes, we changed the editorial style. We tried to make it a more general news website, and that didn't work. So that was one of the realizations I came to, that Ghafla, and yeah, this is an entertainment brand. There's no running away from that, you see. So I removed from my mind the thought of scaling
Mhm.
in terms of getting into other verticals of
Yes.
content. You see,
Uh-huh.
I said, okay, we need to stick to entertainment, but if we are scaling it, maybe we scale to other countries. You see, yeah.
How has it been like ever since? When was this? When did you go into the first country and the second and the third? Maybe speak on timelines.
Yeah, so it was almost immediately after the exit to Ringie failed that we decided to go into other countries, and I think I need to speak on that as well. So the exit to Ringie, after it failed, it was rather sudden. Yeah, it was just like, okay, give me back my website, I go tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, but that left us in a situation where we had already like given away our office, our previous office, and then I was over there, I was like, give me back my website, we are leaving now. So we were officeless, you see. So that made me tell guys when we were leaving Ringie, okay guys, we are leaving tomorrow, but let's just work from home in the meantime, and then I'll get us an office later, you see. But a few weeks down the line, I'm realizing, okay, guys are working from home. It's not as bad as maybe I imagined in my head, you see. And that was the shift in mentality I was talking about earlier, where I was like, okay, maybe this work from home thing can work, you see. Then on top of that, you realize, okay, if work from home is working, then now scaling is easier, because now scaling is just a matter of like putting a job ad in a different country, like their local job websites,
Yes.
filtering the jobs through email, doing virtual interviews through Skype and Google Docs, and then you tell someone, okay, here's your WordPress account, right?
Yes.
You know. So yeah, that's how the scaling came out.
You did not need to register companies in there.
Now you see, that was for the editorial
Yes.
side.
Oh, yeah.
That was for the editorial side. The sales side now, because Ghafla is advertising driven, the sales side, after we had built up the audience and built up the stories and the team on the editorial side, that's when the sales side comes in, and that's now when I had to go and register the companies and all that. Yeah.
Oh, so now about business success. How does it look like ever since you know, was it an awakening or you got reborn? How's business been like?
Yeah, definitely. I think, to be honest with you, I kind of re-examined the way we should be building companies in this Kenya of ours. I think the whole experience with Ringie made me realize that maybe the Silicon Valley model is not the best for Kenya, where you like take a company, you get some funding, and then you build it up and you sell it off later. You see. So I just realized, okay, maybe we should be because currently Ghafla Tech is the current generation of tech companies in Kenya. It's like the first generation or second at best. You see. So this generation should maybe be trying to become the big guys who will now maybe be at the top of the ecosystem in future and be the ones maybe acquiring the others who come later on, but we need to form like big companies organically for now, without selling them off. And that's what I'm trying to do with the way I've scaled up Ghafla so far.
So you dropped exit plans, you don't even think of IPOs, you think of growing a business.
Exactly, as big as you can, And one of the ways to do that, if you ask me, is to scale in any way. I chose to scale geographically and it's worked out. Yeah.
So what is growth like for you as a business is concerned?
We are like, after we decided to scale geographically, for the last 18 months, the growth has been in the triple digits, We're talking 100, 200, 300%, especially on the editorial side.
Yes.
The sales side, it's picking up now, because you have to build the audience first. But yeah, even on the sales side, when you scale from one country to 6 countries, it's almost automatic
Yes.
that your growth will now get into triple digits. We were talking 100, 200, 300% growth.
A few years ago, you were probably your pioneer in a segment, and of course, this has come up with competition and even some failed acquisitions that became competition.
Yeah.
How is that space like for Ghafla?
So that's one of the things that scaling geographically has done, because, okay, yes, there was a lot of Kenyan entertainment blogs that were cropping up, but now we no longer define ourselves as a Kenyan entertainment blog. We define ourselves as an African entertainment news website, you see.
Yes.
And when it comes to Pan-African entertainment news websites, the competition is way less,
Yes.
you see. And then on top of that, you find that now, even on a local level, like it relieves some of the pressure from us, because now we don't need to squeeze every cent out of Kenya like we had to before.
Yes.
We don't need to be as like as desperate with our tactics in Kenya as before. You see, we can keep calm, you know, do our thing the way we do it, and just have like Kenya being part of a bigger thing.
Yes.
Where, you know, Kenya changas a bit towards the traffic and the sales, Uganda a bit, Tanzania a bit, South Africa a bit, Ghana a bit, Nigeria a bit, you see. So that means now also on a local level, we are no longer that desperate. We have to like get all the hits, we have to do all the clickbait tactics, we have to do all the like things we can do to undercut the competition. You know, we don't have to be so ruthless on that level. So it's like really changed our mindset.
It's like scaling geographically has sort of like putting your eggs in different baskets. And
exactly. Yeah, like now that's also another thing. It's de-risked the company significantly, because now you can also say if Ghafla Kenya falters a bit, the other ones are there to pick up the slack, you know, and vice versa, you know. And then it's also now very hard for all 6 branches to falter at the same time. So now, we are talking about, like, it was a hard thing to do, but having done it, the rewards are just massive.
What market comes, like, I'd assume Kenya is still the leading market and probably will be for Grey Mountain.
Yeah.
For Ghafla, what other market is looking good?
Tanzania, of course, because Tanzania's media market leads with entertainment. So you'll find in Tanzania the largest media companies are usually entertainment first. It's not like here where the largest media is politics first, you see. So Tanzania, of course, and then also South Africa is huge. Why? Because South Africa, you find a situation where, as much as it's a first world country, in terms of internet, they actually don't have fiber optic yet, you see. And what does that mean? That means online entrepreneurship has not yet taken off so much like in the blogging space. Because I don't know if you remember, like in Kenya, blogging really took off when fiber optic came. Because fiber optic makes everything much easier. You remember back in the copper cable days, trying to set up a website. Trying to set up a website was almost impossible. The number of people on it were less, and it was just cumbersome to even just log on, you know. So in South Africa, we've had that blessing where online entrepreneurship has not yet taken off, so the competition is less stiff. Like in South Africa, there's probably only 2 other entertainment blogs that are really serious about their work, you know. So in South Africa, with the aggression that we went into that market, it has really taken off quickly.